holiday break, playing some games. Wanted to bring you my first thoughts on Marvel Rivals. I played about 4 or 5 hours of the game, tested out a few of the characters, already kind of picked who my main is, and actually I have like 3 mains, but we're going to get into that, because the game doesn't really lock you into one certain thing. Like, it just doesn't. Like, it really helps cater to your playstyle, even within the different class types. It lets you kind of play to your playstyle, so that's really cool. But let's get into it, guys. Marvel Rivals is a game that just released. It's free to play. It's on the PS5, Xbox, and Steam. It's everywhere, and it is doing numbers. We just got the I joined the Discord for it, and this morning at 7:38, we had a notification that it just hit 400,000, and then at 8:03, just a few minutes later, it hit 500,000 in the Discord. So that's fantastic. Those type of numbers are showing that it hit 500K that fast is amazing. So what is it doing well? So let me just burst this right now. I've never played Overwatch. So, people who are saying it's an Overwatch clone, I have no idea what you mean. I just don't. I've never been an Overwatch fan. I've never played Anthem. What's going on, everybody? Hey, I'm reading y'all's comments here, and so what y'all were hearing was the audio for the review of Marvel Rivals I did, or for the first impressions of Marvel Rivals I did. Y'all actually weren't hearing me. Well, you were hearing me, but you weren't hearing me live. You were hearing me on a recording. My bad. But welcome to the playground tonight. We have a fantastic show. I see tons of cool people in here. What's up, Hero, JP, Nelson, Fabrizzle, my dude. I can't say the other thing. I'm a little bit too light. And Goku 1973, Michael Moridian. How are y'all? Man, this is a good crowd already. I like to see that. I love to see that. Well, we have Jez will be joining us. He should be joining us soon or sometime soon, I think. And no, I know he is. But we have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful show. Oh my goodness. Diablo Dark Matter, what's up since I've gone darkish on socials? Hey, listen. Didn't know there'd be a show today. Hey, listen, man. Every single week at this same time, no matter where you are in the world, there's a show. And it's right here. Ooh, that's really good. Ooh, that gave me chills. Ooh, anyways, sorry. No. You ever said something that was like so good that it almost gave you chills and you were like, man, I need to use that later. What is up, Henry? Man, hey, guys, listen, I am about to form a guild in Path of Exile 2. What's up? Hey, Easy E. Heck yeah. You missed the stream where I had Bone Thugs and Harmony playing when then it got copywritten, so I had to take that part of the stream out. But anyways, we're not here to talk about that. I don't want to get hurt again. You thought I'd postpone due to the Game Awards? Psh, bro, I ain't gonna postpone nothing. I'm just not going to do a show tomorrow because I'm going to be over at the Grindhouse listening to their Game Awards over there because it's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. So let's talk about some of the topics that we have for tonight because Thrifty, I left Mooch to listen. It was a great show. Man, Neil, I appreciate that, dude. Yeah, Mooch's show was actually really, really good tonight. And I absolutely had to get away from it because I was listening too intently to the guys on the channel, to the guys on the panel, I mean, and like I couldn't focus on getting my show ready for tonight, and so I was behind all day. Like I haven't even been able to send out anything like articles or nothing to Jez, and so
I'm here.
Oh shit, he's here. Hey,
I'm here.
What's up, dude?
Yo, what's up, man? Just a few minutes late. I'm double booked. I said I gotta talk to my agent.
And then
Who double
when
booked
your
me
mic
tonight?
wasn't working at the beginning of Mooch's show, he was like, "Wait a minute,
I
you're
yo
late,
this
and now."
I'm a mess. That's it. Put me in the room. He had me in the he put me in the room over there. But nah, I do. It's been wild. I'll try going back and forth, trying to get getting
Imagine
things sorted
that.
out because it's a busy night. And but I made it. I'm here.
JP Loco with the 2. Can y'all support Sly 2 and 3 on PS5 if you can? Hey, listen, I am all for supporting those retro titles, and I am on a spending freeze until Christmas, and my wife let me break that freeze so I could do early access to Path of Exile 2. So
Oh yeah.
I can't I can't do that again. Like I've already used that. That's also why I haven't gotten Power Rangers Rita's Rewind or Space Marine 2 or any of the other games on my list because I
Space
can't.
Marine 2 is good. That was a good
Hey,
game.
it just got the pro patch. So
Oh yeah, I
I'm
had it on
excited to
PC. I
get back
beat it
in
on
there.
PC.
You beat it on
It was
PC.
yeah, 'cause I played it. I played it when I didn't have my
Oh,
PlayStation.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah,
You said, nah,
yeah.
Sony ain't support. Yeah, that's right, Henry. Um, Okay, so, anyways, topics for tonight's show. Game awards, predictions, all that nonsense. We will cover that. We will talk about if Jeff Keighley's pants are from the Baby Gap or if he's wearing a normal man suit this year. And we will also be talking about Bend Studios. There was a rumor, some leaks came out, uh, new information about their game, possible stuff going on tomorrow at the Game Awards. At this point, I think every fan base is just dying for more shit. We just want to know. And so you're getting everything from Switch 2 rumors to we're getting a remaster of every freaking game from Studio X and Studio Y, and Resident Evil supposed to do the whole collection. Like, there's so much crap set up for tomorrow. And so we are going to talk about that. And also, it's been an awful, awful, awful 7 days for Blizzard. It has been terrible. And the reason why is because of two little darlings that just came out. You might have heard of them, you probably haven't. They're not very popular right now, but it's Marvel Rivals and Path of Exile 2. One of them has been said to be an Overwatch clone that is going to end up killing it. And the other one is Path of Exile 2, which is damn near better than Diablo 4 in every single way imaginable.
Oh yeah,
So
it was like a 1-2 punch.
they've got they've gotten hit in the gut so bad, and so we're actually going to see how bad it is because I've pulled up some numbers, I've checked out some things, I have a couple receipts, and I just really want to go down this rabbit hole because it looks like that this amazing Activision Blizzard deal is not really paying off the way that they had probably hoped over at Team Green. And so we're going to discuss that all tonight. If y'all could, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. I know that 65% of the people who watch this are not subscribed, so please do so and subscribe if you come back and like the
Imagine
content.
that.
Uh, yeah, let's have a great night tonight. It's going to be fun. We're going to talk about gaming again. It's a slow news cycle, which means we get to talk more games. And Easy E with the 9.99. Here to support gaming YouTubers. Great move to promote the channel, Jez. Are you guys streaming the awards tomorrow? I am not, but Jez will be,
I
right?
was going to. I think I have an event to go to, so I might not stream it. I might do maybe something after or on Friday. So
No, but
yeah,
we're
I don't
supposed to
think I'm
have the
doing.
Grindhouse Awards show tomorrow.
Well, no, that'll be. I'll do it next week. We'll do
Oh,
my
that
like. I
next week.
know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll do the award show next week. But like, streaming it, I was. It starts at 8. I can't. Let's see. It starts at. Yeah, I maybe do the second half of it if I do jump on live to see it. If there's, if there's some stuff worthwhile and exciting, I might jump on like the second half of it because it does go to like 10. So maybe like from 9 to 11, I may stream it. But yeah, just I'm not sure. I gotta say.
Hey, Jez, what's he saying? Great move to promote the channel. Did you say something over on Mooch's channel?
I said I was double booked. I'm going to Thrifty's show now.
Oh man, I appreciate that. That's that little.
I said, my agent is going to hear from me tomorrow.
That's hilarious, dude. Yeah, when you and I were talking about that last night, like the realization you had in that moment was priceless, dude. You were like,
I
"Oh
forgot.
shit."
I was like, oh shoot! I told Mucho I'll be on there. I was like, yeah, I totally forgot.
Oh man, that's fine. We were supposed to have Falky on tonight, but he said he had a hard time reading, and so he got his dates mixed up, and
Uh-oh.
so
He's going to talk to his agent.
he's his own agent. That's the problem.
He's his own agent and
He's
he
on
has to
so
talk to
many
himself.
shows, he needs help. He can't remember who
Dude,
he's
he
on
is,
when.
man. He was on camera and I saw place.
Yeah, man.
Last week he was
Imagine that.
on everything.
He's been going everywhere. Hey, JP Loco with the $5. Left side of the mouth is numb from the dentist. So thirsty and hungry. This stream will make
Oh shit,
time
he went to the
fly.
dentist. I went to the dentist today. Oh
Did you
man.
really?
Yeah, just for cleaning though. I have
Oh,
perfect,
okay.
no cavities.
Good, 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 good. Yeah, I got to go back in January or February. I am not looking forward to that because
Uh-oh.
I quit dipping this past year.
Oh no, yeah,
So
that goes right there.
I'm hoping everything is like starting to clear up and they're like, anyways, I hate going to the dentist. My teeth are so freaking sensitive. And
Mm.
so it just, every cleaning hurts. Anyways,
Yeah, I know mine hurt. That's why I take Tylenol.
folks are coming in here left and right going, what are we talking about the dentist for? Don't worry
That's
about
it.
it. It's gaming. That's it. All right, so let's get in with the first topic because, man, I have been absolutely fiending left and right for Path of Exile 2. But I started my weekend playing Marvel Rivals. And that was a game that kind of came out of left field, if I'm being honest. Like, I didn't think I would enjoy it. I didn't really want to enjoy it, but it was free. And the more I kept seeing, like, the characters, and I wanted to play as Wolverine, and it was Marvel, I was like, you know what? I'm going to check it out. And I ended up getting, like, to level 4 the first night. I got to level 6 the next day. And I've played with probably 5 of the characters. And I really, really enjoy the game. The problem with that, though, is I then got the early access to Path of Exile 2. And I've been mainlining that now. I played with Jez and Ace from our community the other night. Ace and I played a little bit the other day. Henry was with us on that. And, like, it's so fun. It's so amazing. The loop is
Yeah, it was
so
good.
addictive. Like, I just want to keep running through, collecting my loot, traveling back to town, selling my stuff, maybe upgrading everything. I love being in the menus and tinkering with everything and like figuring out what kind of boost I can get. It's so engaging. And as I've been playing those, like I told my wife tonight, I was like, man, I really wish that like I almost did the show from the PS5 just so I could play Path of Exile 2 while streaming and doing the show like we used to back before because like I just want a game. That's all I want to do right now. And it's because of this game, because of Path of Exile. But Jez, you've been putting a lot of time into Marvel Rivals.
Hmm.
So kind of what do you and did you play Overwatch?
Yes.
Okay, I have never touched the game, so I never approached Rivals from a this is an Overwatch killer, this is an Overwatch clone. I've I'm out on that conversation. But I'd love to hear like you and your comparison and your thoughts on is this an Overwatch clone? Is this something that NetEase kind of did to get back at Blizzard for the deal that happened in China? Like, what do you think?
Yeah, it is Overwatch. Like it is
Okay.
basically it is Overwatch. Like even some of the characters' abilities, like Groot's ability, like that's the tank one of the tanks that's in Overwatch with I don't know if his name is Ragnarok or Ragnar. The guy he could drop walls and stuff like that. Like they definitely even the girl that has the healing where she gets on the roller skates, even though she's ice, she's the roller skate person from Overwatch, and she does like it has music as an ultimate and stuff like that, similar to that guy. I don't know all their names because trust me, I played Overwatch when it released. I only played like one day of Overwatch 2. I stopped playing Overwatch for a while. Like I just played it when it released, but I played Overwatch when it came out. And yeah, this definitely is Overwatch. Same thing with the 30 seconds and the banter and when you're in the thing before the game starts and stuff like that. But they've done such a great job with this in the sense of the characters are really true to their abilities and they all have a lot of depth to them as well and balance. And I love the destruction of physics because that's what you expect in a superhero game. And the destruction of physics is not just like just pots and pans and pottery. It's basically walls and stuff and whole levels coming down and chandeliers and doing that stuff, which is really awesome. And they did it right in the sense that they have over 33. They could have really only put 12 or so characters in here and started it off really slow and kind of trickled out characters. But putting 33 superheroes in here, especially the big ones with Spider-Man, Wolverine, Punisher, Captain America, Iron Man, Venom, Spider-Man, like they could have really milked the hell out of it. And they didn't actually. And Magneto in there. They got X-Men in there. It wasn't like they started with like, hey, we're just gonna do Avengers first and then we'll do X-Men. Dude, they went all out. And that is really impressive. And it really adds a lot of variety and stuff to the gameplay. So I'm loving it. And from an Overwatch player, like yeah, I really think this probably would take a hit out of Overwatch because I don't think Overwatch 2 is really what everybody was loving. I think it didn't come out to the reception that they expected. And in this game, free to play, it works. There's no like queues and things like that for
It
waiting to get
works.
in. It just
That's
worked, dude. Just worked. Like it worked day one. Like it was released at 7 o'clock, and I was playing a game at 7:15. Like it was
that's
done.
really funny. Sorry. It's really hilarious that like one of the easiest wins that a video game company can do right now is make a game that upon release actually works. Like
Yeah.
that's the fucked up thing about this right now. Sorry. Continue.
No, you're totally right. Like that's the thing. Like a free to play game, cross progression on releasing on everything, and you're finding games with no downtime, no lag, no broken stuff, and it worked. And you find in these games, and they run great, and yeah, and that was really incredible. Free, and that's how you got to launch, man. You gotta. And I was saying this on Mucha Show, like if you're gonna come out and challenge the big boys like Overwatch and stuff, you gotta meet Overwatch when it was at its best, and you start from there. And they have done that. They have started for like the best Overwatch with all the characters. Like I said, they could have really milked the hell out of this thing. Oh, X-Men will come next year, everybody, and
Mm.
they could have, yeah, they could have really. I could think about a million different ways that they could have really milked the shit out of this thing, but they went all out, and I
Heck, I
think they've
mean,
done a great job.
even the last multiplayer like this
And it
I've
looks
played,
great too. And on the Pro, I've been playing it, and the Portal looks great.
it does. And what I've really been enjoying is seeing how the Portal is handling these online games like Path of Exile
Hmm.
2 and Rivals. There's no issue. Like there's
How is
li-
Path of Exile 2 on the Portal? Like I know it's a lot of small stuff. Text is it hard to play on the Portal?
it's not hard to play, and because of the way my eyesight is, it's actually not hard for me to read.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. Because
even
I gotta try that on there.
so when I don't remember which one it is, but basically when I sit on the couch and my TV screen is 10, 12 feet away, I can't see, and I have a 65 inch. I can't see the like the item descriptions in Path of Exile 2, but when
Hmm.
the small 8-inch screen is right up 12 inches away from my face, I can see everything clear as day, no big deal, no issue. So like
Gotcha.
I don't know what that means about my eyesight. I know I wear contacts.
Uh huh.
But anyways, it looks fine. It looks great. I have nothing negative to say about it. The same couple little stutter steps that we had while we were playing is the
Yes.
same stuff you're gonna get on the portal. It's not any
Oh,
better
oh
or
yeah.
any worse. One of the things I will say is that on the portal, it make sure the brightness is turned up because Path of Exile is already a darker game,
Yeah, it's
and so
talking.
on the
Yeah.
portal being on that screen and not on what most of our TVs are, it's going to look a little different. Um, you have, huh? I don't know. Oh, Short-sighted. Okay. I'm like, y'all are throwing like scientific words sounding at me. I'm not a doctor here, people. I'm a gamer. That's way down on the list. Way down on the list of people who can pronounce big words. That's not. No. I don't know how to say that. Hyporia? Hmm. Anyways, short-sightedness is what I have. Court. Oh,
Myopia.
myopia.
Myopia. Yeah.
I was like, what the hell is
Yeah.
hyperopia? What
The
the?
ophthalmologist. Yeah. Oh shit. Josh
No,
Ayers, man. Josh Ayers is like a freaking walking encyclopedia.
he's fucking great,
I'm
dude.
gonna call Josh Ayers is like Alexa.
We just
It's like, what's
asked
the weather,
Ayers.
Josh? What's the weather tomorrow in the Northeast?
He probably knows too. He's
He
probably
probably
typing that
knows, man.
shit right
He's
now.
like the ultimate fact checker.
He's freaking AI. Like he's not even a
He
real
is
person.
AI. He is AI.
All right, so this is these two games came out. Sorry, that was a really funny side note. So these two games came out, and one is being compared to Overwatch. The other one is absolutely just throttling the Diablo community and the Diablo devs, and just beating them over the head with everything that they should have done, could have done, and yet refused to do. And like so I got on this little thing in my brain, like, man, this is really bad. This is really, really bad for Blizzard. They've recently been purchased. Activision has been, I mean, doing Call of Duty, so that's good. Yeehaw there. Uh, you know, Blizzard hasn't really been doing much. They did the DLC, and that was good for Diablo. World of Warcraft is in shambles. People they're dropping tons of subs every month, every week. And so I started thinking, I was like, damn, they took two freaking gut punches. And then I started thinking, how good were these things actually?
They also canceled BlizzCon.
They also canceled BlizzCon. They also canceled that
Grand
shit.
opening, grand closing with Phil Spencer. That was my first BlizzCon. That was his last one.
First one ever, last one ever, first one in, last one out. Bye,
He
guys.
was a freaking Mothman. He showed up. He's like, Xbox, no, Phil Ness. I'm here at Blizzard, my first BlizzCon ever. And then next day he's like, we canceled BlizzCon. No need for it.
Okay, so I cannot believe that when he introduced himself, that it actually sounded like Phil Ness.
Oh, that's him. He listens.
I just can't believe it.
Xbox, no, Phil Ness.
Okay, so here's how bad it was, okay? And I started looking and I was like, okay, so let's see what their numbers were. Path of Exile 2, 578,000 all-time peak in 3 days. There are 245,780 players on, this is Steam numbers right here, currently right this second, right? And so, yes, I'm going to go and I was like, let me check Diablo 4. I'm sure Diablo 4 had to have 1.5, 1.7, 1.8 million players at all time, blah, blah, blah. Because it's the more recognizable
Imagine
brand
that.
in the general gaming community. Oh, JP Loco with the 2. Blizzard canceled a new IP 6 years in development.
Yep,
Yeah,
they
there's
did
that
that too.
Oh, and they're talking about potentially more layoffs next year. So, it's not going good. And so, anyways, I start thinking, I'm like, man, Diablo had to be doing just gangbuster numbers, right? It's the darling of the ARPG community, spawned a whole genre, blah blah blah. Well, so the all-time player peak was actually 2 months ago, with the last expansion, and that was 55,561. Path of Exile was 578,569. Mind you, this is early access that cost $30 to have early access to a free to play game that should release sometime in 2025. This game has absolutely dog walked anything and everything that Diablo or Blizzard could set out to do.
And it's an early access for $30.
Yeah,
That too. Another thing.
God bless. They couldn't sell, but what I'm assuming is about 40 to 30,000 of their expansions for Diablo, and for $30 each. And this company here gives you early access 3 out of 6 of the acts and some in-game content to play around with, and they sell 578,569 early access keys on Steam alone. Damn. Jeez. And
That's
then
wild.
and then you have Marvel Rivals. Marvel Rivals 480,000. Overwatch 2. That's the game it's supposed to be rivaling, no pun intended, but that's the game it's supposed to be rivaling. That's what's supposed to be happening. And 75,608 all-time player peak was 16 months ago. Guys, the Blizzard that we know, the Blizzard, well, let me rephrase that. The Blizzard that Microsoft purchased is no longer the Blizzard of old.
It's the reason why they were for sale.
It's the reason.
That's why Big Booty Bobby wanted out.
He saw what they had cooking and was like, "This ain't it."
Dude, they were there, and they same same thing. But like they the shells of the former cells. Look at Starfield. Was that the next Oblivion? Was that the next Skyrim?
Yeah, and
no.
Indiana Jones coming out. Indiana Jones coming out. People are like, "Oh my God, it's amazing! Xbox is back." Blah 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 blah. And I haven't played it, Jez.
I played a little bit.
You played a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
What's your thoughts? Is it?
I'm gonna tell you for an Xbox game, the presentation and graphics of like the environments and stuff are very impressive, and I have to say like the cinematics definitely really good. But like I was saying on Mooch's show, like where it doesn't seem to hit is really in the gameplay, which is probably very important. Is the most important part. But I feel that I haven't hit any set piece moments yet, but again, I'm only a couple hours in, and I feel that the presentation and respect for the IP, something that Microsoft had kind of not really had, with their own IPs, they did Indiana right, and I think a lot of people who ever wanted an Indiana game, this is the best they're gonna get, and without being an Uncharted or a Tomb Raider. And I feel like they did a good job with it. But as for what it's going to do, like you say, Xbox is back and stuff, I think we need to see. But I really think given if Call of Duty wasn't having Satya scream from the rooftop of subscriber numbers, this game isn't either. And I think the other travesty I feel like is if they had something such a great game. One of the things I was saying is like Phil said Redfall had like double-digit numbers from their mock reviews. Well, if this game had, where were those mock reviews for this one to say, "Yo, you got a game that needs to get out there before the holiday, like, get it out there sooner because this may get a good reception and give a lot of traction." And instead, I don't know, maybe the mock reviews made Phil say, "Oh, put this on PlayStation." I don't know. Wow. But which scratched my head on that one. It's like, they could have rode this exclusivity with this game for the whole holiday, and then in January, February, to talk about it going somewhere else. But like, I saw no reason in why they would prematurely announce it at the Game Awards back in September. Of like, why? And it doesn't even have a release date in sometime spring. Like, what did that do? I don't know. Did it make you able to get pre-orders for PlayStation? But I really don't understand the logic to that, because you basically took a lot of momentum that you could have really rode this well. And I'm not talking about selling consoles, but I'm talking about selling, just selling your services. You want Xbox everywhere on everything. This is what you do. And what's kind of crazy is that you look at those, you look at top sales. I was looking at Amazon on my show and stuff like that, and you're not seeing the impact that this game is having. Like, it's not really driving consoles. They didn't even bundle it. They didn't even have a special controller to ship with it, or a bundle system. Like, dude, it's fucking Indiana Jones. Like, the custom controller writes itself. Make it all gold and call it a day. Bundle it with 1 month of Game Pass. Like I don't understand. The shit writes itself, and it's probably cost nothing.
I mean, you could have done 19 inches of his whip, like,
dude. Yeah, they did have a special edition without the game though. But like, special editions are not enough. But why didn't you brand Xbox as the Indiana console? not a
Mm,
sweepstakes one, but like an Xbox One. Like if you're
yeah.
gonna do the stupid Galaxy one, man, I would have one done with gold, a gold glitter box, and call it the Indiana Jones box. Like I
Ooh,
just don't understand.
Steven
Like,
Leon
yeah, man,
with the 10 gifted members. Thank you
Steve
so much,
Leon,
dude.
baby.
I saw that you play Path of Exile too. Add me. It's PlayStation thrifty PS underscore
Let's
GR.
go, Steven. We'll get you on there.
We will freaking absolutely do it. That game, like I said,
I
it
saw
has me.
Baldante playing it. I was gonna invite him yesterday.
Oh, dude. I actually found out there's a couple more people who've been playing it. Like, we need to get that going. If we can start a guild or something like that, that would be amazing. That would be so fun because I have a feeling this game is going to be sticking around in my library for quite some time. Um, so one of the things that I like to do here, and especially on weeks where the news just isn't that heavy. We've been talking about Marvel Rivals, Path of Exile, Indiana Jones. Those are three games that have all come out that have all received really well reception from audience, from critics. Everybody seems to really be enjoying them. And with all of that, though, I kind of want to know, especially in the case of Marvel Rivals and Path of Exile, because we have direct like competitors this generation in that space. I don't know what other game I would compare um, Indiana Jones to, but like in the terms of Marvel Rivals versus Overwatch or Path of Exile 2 versus Diablo 4, one of the things I want to kind of talk about tonight is why one works and one doesn't. Like, what is the thing about Marvel Rivals, Jez, that you think sets it apart from uh, uh, Overwatch? Like, why does it work?
Well, I think because even though people say, "Oh, it's just a Marvel skin on there," the thing is, though, is that the Marvel, if you're a comic book person, which I'm not a huge comic book person, but I know that people want their characters and their favorite characters respected, in their medium. They don't want them to tell a story that's not canon or somebody do something. The same thing with Star Wars fans. Like there's a lot of people that if it doesn't fit into the canon, they don't want to be anything to do with it. They don't like the spin. And I think that they've done a really good job of integrating these many characters, 33 characters, and staying true to their abilities in a video game. With some of them,
Yeah.
like Squirrel Girl, I'm playing right now, and she did not know a video game for her. But I don't even her abilities and balance, and it makes sense in the game, and they add value to the team. Mantis as a healer, Rocket Raccoon as a healer. Like I really think that they've taken the Marvel universe, done a great job with it. Even the levels, like you're playing in Wakanda, you're playing in all different things, different Loki's tower, and there's dynamics to the levels as well. So the levels themselves are like ripped from the lore as well. And I think they did a great job with it, and that's where I think it stands out because they've taken basically the Overwatch formula and they flipped it on its lid and just said, hey, here's all the favorite characters that you know and love. You don't have to watch cinematics to learn them. You could play all the characters you love. You know how Spider-Man plays? Go capture the flag with Spider-Man. You know what I mean? And it's just
Yeah.
like get ready to go. Like hold down the area hold down the area with the Punisher. You know what he's gonna do, and Venom and stuff like that. Or turn into the Hulk and start to clear up an area. Like you just know. And that's where I think it works. I think they really they didn't phone it in because
Mm.
this would have been treated. It would have got the Concord if they would have just kind of like phoned it in. It's like, oh, and trust me, there are characters in here that's like, oh yeah, the thing that the acorn that she throws, it's almost like that gear or rivet thing that other guy does. Like they're
Uh,
definitely there's definitely things that you could say, like, oh yeah, well these are maybe, these may be ripped from there. But the
Maybe
thing is
some
that it's
reused
very subtle,
assets.
very subtle stuff, but yeah, it is definitely like Junkyard. That's the guy, Junkyard. Like she has a slingshot and things like that. So Squirgle's almost like the Junkyard. So, but you know what else that does though is that makes it more that makes it easier for a person who plays Overwatch routinely to jump in and go, oh, this reminds me of this character from Overwatch. So it definitely could be looked at twofold, not just as like a ripoff, but as something as like, oh, it's familiar. So hey, I could get into this game, even though I main basically Overwatch, but this character is similar to my main in Overwatch. So it does work to kind of pull that, and I think, yeah, I just think they did a great job, because I think and what's crazy is too is like, talking about this and Indiana Jones, like I really think it just shows when you respect the IP and you respect the franchise, the games usually can be successful. It's when you phone it in and when it really you're just trying to get a cash grab, that game is kind of see through that, and
Mm.
you know
I think
and kind
that's
of disown it.
I think that's kind of the big thing is that first when the game first got announced and somebody told me I was really excited because I love Marvel, and then somebody
Hmm.
told me it's a hero shooter, and I was like, oh man, I don't want a freaking hero shooter. I don't play that shit.
But what do you think about when you hear hero shooters and free to play? You think like you're gonna have to grind a character
Yeah, and it's gonna be
to earn
somebody.
other ones?
Yes, and I think it's gonna be a gun. It's gonna be a shooter. Blah blah blah. And so I go and I'm like, never mind, I won't play it. And then I start seeing like a week before launch, I start seeing like clips of it and I start seeing commercials for it and stuff like that. And I noticed that Wolverine is actually using his claws. And I'm like, oh, wait a sec, because I was honestly, Suicide Squad ruined me, and it almost
No, I
ruined
haven't
like.
played that game, so I'm not.
Well,
I'm a virgin.
did you
You
not
got
ever
ruined.
play the
Nope.
no? Oh dude, I got
I
the
did not touch
I
Suicide Squad.
I
That when
played
I
the
saw those
early
purple
release.
orbs on a tank, I said, "Hell no."
I played the
I
beta
saw,
of that shit.
oh, so I didn't even touch that game.
Oh
When I saw that game, dude, that looked like bootleg Crackdown, and Crackdown was a bootleg. So it's a bootleg of a bootleg.
god, it was so bad. They
Dude,
gave
there were orbs on a tank that hit the weak spots of the tank. There were
yes,
purple
and they
balls on
gave
them.
Shark a gun. Shark doesn't have a
Yes.
gun.
They made them.
Stop.
They made them all shooters, like
It's
Harley
so-
Quinn on her bat, but they gave everybody guns, and it was Crackdown. It was basically Crackdown 4. That's what I called it.
So I heard hero shooter and I was like,
I
I'm out. And
didn't touch that game.
then I saw Wolverine actually using his claws, and I was like, oh, I'm back in. And I
Hmm.
played it, and dude, Wolverine and the respect they gave to the IP with like the outfits and like the costumes and the fan
Yes.
service, dude, like
Yes.
so it could just be that it's the Marvel skin. It really could, because that's what it got me in. But
Hmm.
at the same time, the thing that, and this is one of the things that my critique of the game, and the only thing I can see, and maybe I'm wrong, I don't know this genre at all, but my only critique is that none of the skills seem like you can't level them up. You can't swap. Like Wolverine's always
No.
going to have the same set of skills.
Yes.
Right. And so that makes it to where two things. One, it's going to encourage players to kind of try everybody and get good with everybody. And when one gets stale, just move to the next one. But at the same time, for somebody like me that has picked like three or four and I just want to get really good with them, it gives me nowhere to go with the character. But that just could be maybe these games aren't for me. That's just how they are. I don't know. I don't play these types. But
Hmm.
that being said, guys, it's free and I think you should try it. But like Path of
But
Exile
that's the
2. Go
difference.
ahead.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. But I'm saying that's the difference with these hero shoes and stuff. Like you can main and choose one, but the thing is that depending on the situation, if you see a team like holding it down, you may have to switch your character and switch your strategy. So you can't be your favorite character. If you see that there's no healer and everybody's just like attacking and stuff, then you be a healer and you could kind of give people like inspiration or give people ammo and give and change the game. So like that's where you're not leveling up the character. It's like, oh, look, this one, she's there a fit, and that's where it keeps it even playing field. So that's why if you don't play this game for like a month or so and then jump back in, it's not like, hey, everybody's a level 50 and they got like the fourth unlock of Rocket Raccoon that you could like spam and destroy everybody. I'm not playing this game anymore. That's not how the game works. Like this game, everybody's even keel. It's more about the skill of how you use the character. So like, and depending on the situation of the game, like if your team is
Yes.
locked down with a Groot and things and a Venom and stuff like that, then you want to know what? you may need to go in there with the Hulk or something like that, or you may have to go with somebody that's going to counter the big guys. You know,
God,
maybe Magneto like a shield.
a three tank build is absolutely stupid. It's just dumb.
But I'm just saying, like people just choose who they want, and yeah, it's like like if they don't have a healer, but that's why these games are cool in the sense that like you could jump in whenever, and it's not like the community and the game left without you, and you're like out of it and never go back into it.
Oh, I guess that's true too. Like a Call of Duty or something like that,
Like Call
where
of Duty's done. Like yeah, if you jump into Call of Duty now, yeah, people like 50 prestige and have all
yeah.
these wild ass guns, and you're like unlocking scopes for your guns. You're like, oh shit, this sucks.
Oh, I got the red dot. Yay.
Yeah, you got a red dot. Meanwhile, a guy got a gun that annihilates you and turns you into a goddamn like Easter bunny or some shit like that. You're like, what the hell's this gun?
What happened?
Yeah, what happened? That one, the guy killed me, and I was like, I turned into like a freaking like Easter bunny. I'm like, what the hell is this? They're like, oh yeah, that was in like season 4 pack. I'm like, oh shit.
Since season 4 pack, all I had to do was pay $97 for
I
it.
turned into like a fucking Easter egg or something. I don't know what the hell he did. I'm like, what the hell gun is this?
Hey, guys, we have 42 people in here. Holy crap. Hit that like button, guys. We are at 17 likes with 42 people. Let's see if we can't pull that up a little bit. Please, for the love of God, it helps out a ton. Okay, so Path of Exile, you've been playing that too. And what I find
Yes.
interesting is that you don't play isometric games. It's not your thing.
No, I don't play. Yeah, I don't really play
You,
those kind of
you
games.
don't really like them. And
Yeah,
one
like
of the
I bought
things,
what was the other game last year? What was the game last year that I played? I liked the what was the big one last year? What the hell was it? The big
Diablo,
one like that. Not Diablo, the other one. Shit, what the hell was the one that came out last year that everybody went crazy about? Game of the year. What was it?
Game of the
Shit.
Year. What?
The one that came out last year that everybody bought. Oh my god, I forgot now. Where's GP Loco? Where's Josh Ayers? Let's ask him.
He'll get it. He'll get it.
What the game was? I forgot now. I played a little.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Oh shit! Now I forgot.
It's
No, I'll see. It's in my library.
Baldur's Gate?
Ball, thank you. Who were those? Josh.
Josh. It
Exactly.
was
There you
Josh.
go. It's Josh as Alexa. Baldur's Gate, that game. Yeah, like I trying to play it and getting because everybody was hyped about it, so I was like, let me buy it and try it. Hey, the dialogue and all that other stuff was absolutely incredible. Like I felt like I could say anything and do anything in there, but I just couldn't really get into that with the thing. But yeah, I'm not an isometric type person top
So,
down. I want
what
like
about this, though?
yeah.
You seem to be enjoying
This
it.
game,
So, what do you
well,
think?
first off, this game looks. I know we were talking about last night. It looks great. Like it looks incredible. Like and the environments and the characters and the effects look really good and engaging. So I like that. Plus, the other thing that I liked about it, first off, that it had the character classes was so cool that I there's a couple of them I want to try, and I like that the way the abilities work, and also how all the content that they got in there for such a low price that it feels like that there's a lot in there just to begin with. And that's where I kind of like it. But I think the big thing that got me was how good it looked for an isometric, like, for that type of game, like the details and the environments and stuff like that. Like everything is different, and the character designs, the enemy things are pretty crazy too. So
That's
I
that
thought,
was.
and yeah, that's what
Sorry,
got
no, no,
me.
go ahead.
No, that's what got me on there because I really never played the. Again, I really played these games, but like I saw this and I was like, oh, this looks intriguing, and I'll definitely want to try it out and play it. And yeah, I'm really liking it. I think there's tons of loot, tons of different weapons and shit. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, and so I played a little bit of Path of Exile 1. I don't remember what happened, but I think once I realized how in-depth the level up system was in PoE 1, I think it scared me and I went back to Diablo 2. Uh, but I played that a little bit. I've played a ton of these isometric games. There was a time where I couldn't get another Diablo game, so I went and found so many different isometric dungeon crawlers
Hmm.
that were literally Diablo likes.
Yeah,
And
I didn't play Diablo 4, so you did. I know you were saying
oh,
that. I only played
oh yeah,
3.
no, I played 4, and to be honest, 4 was probably tied. for a really really good Diablo. Like it might have been I don't know. It might have been my favorite. Anyways, just because of Lilith. Lilith was
Imagine that.
such an amazing character. Lilith was written so freaking well. I loved the way that, I hated her. I absolutely wanted to rip her head off of her body. And so it was really cool the way they did that. Holy crap, Steven, Leon, whoa, dang, that'll wake you up at night. Like I stated last, I'm donating. I didn't ask for a Switch 2. What are you doing?
Oh damn.
Are you sure you want to invite me? I tend to talk a lot. So do we. It's part of the fun. It's why it's a multiplayer. Yeah, dude, just add me. We'll have a blast, man. Um, but yes, thank you very much for that. So yeah, when playing Path of Exile 2, there's a few things that I picked up on that I just love. One, you're absolutely right. The look of it, 100% next gen. The whole
Hmm?
thing feels next gen. The bosses have their so before you got on, Ace and I had been fighting another boss, and like the boss had like 7 or 8 different moves, and they didn't really do them in necessarily a pattern. Like each move had a tail to it, but
Oh
or had a
wow.
tail to it, but it was like there wasn't some guaranteed, oh, he's gonna do this, 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 and this. And every single thing had its own wonderfully done, flashy, awesome looking animation. Uh, and that was super cool. It was super awesome to see all the little detail and intricacies and time and care that they took with this. And I'm talking this way, and I'm very passionate about this because this is what I wanted from Diablo 4.
Mm.
I love the Diablo franchise. Absolutely adore the Diablo franchise. And what Blizzard did with it, from taking it from Blizzard North and then doing the bastard child that was Diablo 3 and then releasing a half-ass sort of kind of good game in Diablo 4 that can't maintain a steady player count to save its damn life. Like it's just like everything else at Blizzard, it's really lost its way. And so seeing this, it has me hook, line, and sinker. Also, for those who might have played Path of Exile 1, Path of Exile 2 has actually made the skill tree a whole lot more user friendly. When you open it up, you get scared shitless because you see like this big, huge map of 12 different branching pathways, and all 12 have like 100 different nodes, and it's just this big, huge passive skills section. And then you realize that your character is one of those 12. And so
It's crazy.
it's,
And there's different variations of all those characters too. It's crazy.
there is. And so the amount of stuff they did with it, going in depth on it, the amount of stuff they did with the bosses, and also one of the other really cool things is they're not combative, or they haven't been rather combative with their community right now. They have actually been very responsive. They've listened. They've made a few changes, and they've stood their ground on a couple things in a very nice, hey, we're just not doing that type of way. And that's really cool. Like that's one of the things I loved so much about the Helldivers team was that community manager during the first portion of like when the game released, and I know there was some stuff that happened later, but during the initial first portion, he was awesome. He brought the community together, gave the community somebody to hate, somebody to fight against, somebody to be mad at and upset with, somebody to vent to, somebody to get good news from. Like he was totally engaged, or he or the team that ran that account or whatever, like totally engaged, and didn't really belittle his player base. And it's not like when Blizzard comes out and they do something stupid like Diablo Immortals and they look at you and go, "What? You don't have a phone?" Like they belittle you, make you feel stupid when they're the dummies who can't do anything right. And so just seeing the amount of care and attention, I urge everybody, and I know there's some people who will not do this at all, or with Path of Exile because uh, It's an early access title. It's not the complete game, and you won't play Marvel Rivals because you don't do free to play titles. I get that. But let me tell you, as somebody who's had his like gaming like mind opened up a lot this year, go check out both of these. They are amazing. And so, anyways, moving on to our next top. Oh, actually, so Marvel Rivals. I find it interesting. Here, let's just talk about how it started. So, Blizzard and NetEase, Jez, you remember this. Blizzard and
Hmm.
NetEase had a partnership. I think it was a 14-year partnership. Yes, for publishing rights in China for their games, for their mobile games, for Blizzard Entertainment, for all that stuff. Well, that ended in 2023.
Mm.
Mm.
Hmm.
that
It's like a PlayStation Nintendo thing.
uh, that ended in 2023. And well, guess what? This game, if you think this game isn't the biggest FU to Blizzard ever, you are sadly mistaken. Jez, were you going to say something?
Mm. No, yeah, but like it sounds like one of those things where their deal walked up. They took the best what they got. They knew the code, they knew the gameplay loop, and they just did it and said, "Hey, let's get that license from Marvel." And yeah, and that's the other thing. Like you think about Marvel, like Marvel like gave them everybody, like everything. Like they have tons of characters in there, and like they basically made the Marvel game. And I don't know, was it did they make the mobile version of this game too? Like that was the Marvel Rivals. Was it a mobile game?
Yeah, so Marvel Rivals wasn't a mobile game, but NetEase has done two other Marvel titles, and they both have been on mobile.
Okay, yeah,
And one of them is like a Marvel RPG style, and the other one I think is a like a side scroll fighter. I might be wrong in that, but like uh, NetEase has experience with the Marvel IP already.
gotcha.
And I just found it interesting that like NetEase is doing this game, NetEase is doing this game. It's Marvel, it's Overwatch, it's this, it's that, and I'm like, guys, y'all don't realize what just happened.
Mm-hmm.
NetEase said, "Oh, you really want to be assholes? Cool, we can do this too." And what I find funny is they didn't. It's not releasing on mobile, which is interesting because NetEase doesn't usually release console titles. But where is Blizzard's biggest base? Or I'm sorry, they don't usually do console or PC titles. But where is Blizzard's biggest base? Well, it's on console and PC. It's not on mobile. And so they literally have attacked them right at the point where it's going to hurt them the most. And I found it very interesting. And I thought it was a cool thing to talk about tonight.
Yeah, you know what else, Thrifty? That's funny you say that because you know what? It's think about it. This is their again a console game, and it worked on everything, and they put it on everywhere. And it's interesting is that Grand Blue Fantasy was another one who they came from mobile, the gotcha games, and then they came and they made Grand Blue Fantasy as their first console game,
Oh,
and
heck
that
yeah.
went crazy. And then what was the other one? Well, we
Stellar
know
Blade.
Stella Blade was the first console game too. Like it's pretty incredible how these companies have just made their first console games and they started with such success. And these companies that make console games through in and throughout just kind of dried up and they don't know what the code is anymore. And that's what I think is pretty interesting that you have a mobile first companies and then they learn and know how to develop a console game and it works and whereas you see all these console developers trying to implement mobile strategies into their
Mm,
games, and it doesn't seem to work, and it just seems that like
that's a
they
good
kind
point.
of I just think that they kind of like they know that audience like they don't you think that oh like hey they're coming from a mobile thing their game's gonna look like a slot machine and it doesn't they actually make a genuine like incredible complete game. You want to know why? Because they probably have the mobile game on the back end making the money, and they're like, "Hey, we could kind of forego that whole bullshit, and we could just basically make a console game the best that we want with the money that we got from the mobile version. Whereas these other things, they're spending so much money to make a console game. They're like, how do we get more money out of them to get? And they look for that service or the microtransactions, the subscriptions, and all this other stuff. And it just it's interesting that how these first time console players are making. And I would think even Blackman Wukong another one. That's a China project or something like that. Like that was their kind of first game too.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, somebody.
it's kind of interesting
Pretty
when you
crazy.
think about it because it's like they nailed down the gameplay loop and the addictive aspect of what players want using their mobile data, and then they
Yep.
take that into their console game, update the graphics, make it look amazing because now they have the power of the console, not the power of the phone, and they give you
Exactly.
this
Yeah.
game where the first thing we all talk about is, oh my god, the gameplay is so addictive. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, I
Like
can't believe.
Like I'd
Yeah,
say, like Stellar Blade, the pacing of that game was
was
freaking incredible.
awesome.
Like the music and the presentation, like they got it down. Like the
Hmm.
balance of it was so good.
That's crazy. And you know that these studios aren't spending millions upon millions upon millions of dollars too.
You don't
And
need to if you don't have to if you make. Like, I don't know, man. You don't have to all the time. That
that's
doesn't
just
always mean
what's really
success.
cool. Like these companies aren't doing that, but these big, huge, massive conglomerates are spending 400, 500 million dollars on a game, and it's coming out and it's looking like dog crap. It's running bad. It's a whatever. So we had somebody in
Yep.
the chat wanted to talk about Indiana Jones, and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't say much about it. I am happy that it did well. I have said that I want Xbox to do well, and I want to see two games in a row that score well and do decent. I don't know what doing decent looks like on the Xbox because nobody talks about that shit, and we can't get numbers to save anybody's life. But I want them both to do. I want two games in a row. So I got one, but now I want two.
But also too, you got to see like I feel that Indiana Jones already did it. It didn't do anything different that what previous Xbox games have done. Like Halo Infinite got high scores. Starfield was in the 80s and stuff like that. I think a lot of people were surprised with Indiana Jones because it didn't present itself well. They showed it so many times and it was janky Jones. Like that fighting, they
Hmm.
definitely sped it up, but it was that first person was a disoriented. It was not what people wanted from Indiana Jones game. They were thinking like an Uncharted type thing or something along those lines, and they delivered some first person puzzle game with some real awkward combat. And people would I think this was more of a surprise and more of a homage to Indiana Jones where people kind of feel, you know, justified in the sense like, hey, Indy got a shit movie last year. Hey, this franchise is done, and it's like, oh no, wow, this is a good original story, and actually they delivered on the character and the content. So I think that it did part one, and the same thing happened to Halo Infinite. It did great reviews and stuff, but like the thing is that is this going to make Satya come out and be like, oh my God, the increase in growth that we had is huge and consistent with Call of Duty and stuff like that, and that's where you're going to see if this happens because the problem that we have is Phil Spencer says great games don't do anything, and if you look at the reception of this, not the critical reception, not the reviews, but look at the players and look at the sales and let's see where this game lies, where it shows up on MPDs. I think then we're gonna see like, is Phil Spencer right? Is he right? Like, hey, there's nothing they can do. And you're looking at Call of Duty and Starfield; those are huge games with big. Like Starfield launched at 325,000 people on Steam, and the DLC came out this year to crickets. It was horrible, and it's like it's the sustainability, and Microsoft has dug themselves in such a hole
Yeah.
with with the games that they've released and the excuses that they made and the contradictions and pivots that Indiana Jones coming out December 6th isn't going to do anything. And they did the same thing to Halo. Halo came out in December. It got 80 something reviews. It was well received. The Halo Infinite campaign, it came out in December and it got forgotten about. And I'm going to tell you right now, Indiana Jones, they're going to show a commercial tomorrow, but nobody's going to say Indiana Jones after tomorrow, especially if there's some big announcements or something like that. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like it's going to be hard to keep that narrative going, which is a challenge because, you know, it's December games are hard to kind of to retain like that stuff,
Dude, it's
especially like
so
I said
hard.
before.
And
Yeah,
I'm telling you, man, a
but no,
lot of
like
the
I was just say, like I said before, just that's what I feel my thought. Like I said before, they didn't do anything retail wise or otherwise, like to even bundle their console and let people know. So, yeah,
no, and
that's what I'm saying.
that is crazy too because we had everything in front of us, and we were actually. It almost feels like they did this on purpose
Yeah, they self sabotage, right?
to to subvert expectation. Because here's the deal: I've gone into really bad movies knowing that they were going to be really bad, leaving the theater going, you know what? It wasn't terrible. But I've also gone into movies that I expected to be really, really good and just blow your head off amazing. And yeah, you leave and you're like, you know what? No, that was just okay. I
Hmm.
am. I've done that with games too, but like when you have low, low, low expectations, a game that comes out that is just mediocre is going to be like, you know what? That's not terrible. I had a decent time with it. It was okay. It was fine.
Hmm.
That happens to all of us with, especially
Yeah.
with video games. Like we'll pick up
Yeah, I was
something.
surprised at the presentation of Indiana Jones. Like, I
Yeah.
think it was a polished, well game. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad game, but my thing is like it's unfortunate that it was so well received. Like, Microsoft should be riding this momentum, and instead they got to deal with friggin' IHOP
Yeah.
with
And
Indiana Jones.
Slimy,
That was
you
their
know what?
deal.
Xbox did get a W. And
They did.
I hope that
They need to
tomorrow's
ride
one
it.
more thing is not Starfield on the PS5 Pro. I
Oh
hope.
no, they can't do that tomorrow. They can't let Keely get a twofer. Yo, if Keely, know what's crazy? If that does happen, every time people see Keely's show, they're gonna think like he's just gonna announce an Xbox game going to PlayStation. He's gonna
No,
give a whole reputation meme for it.
Slimy, you're right, and I am gonna give them their flowers. I
No,
thought
the
the game was gonna
presentation
be
is
shit,
great.
and
The
apparently it
the,
looks great.
the presentation, it's the gameplay that I just it's a little jarring. The camera's a little jarring. I'm gonna play more of it. I want to get to some set pieces because the Vatican is boring as hell right now, and they got me taking pictures of birds and cats and whatever, some weird ass things there. So like I gotta play more
Have you
of
fought
it.
anything yet?
Yeah, I fought, and yeah, it's the AI is dumb as hell. Like for a game that's like stealth and sneaking around, man, I was just running up to them. Their meter didn't fill up. I'm running straight at them, and their meter's still like filling up. Like, who's this guy running at me? By the time they figure it out, they got red. I bashed them over the head with a club or a fly swatter. Like they're dead. The AI is that dumb. Like their meter was like I'm running at them full speed. They see me, and their meter's still like yellow, going to full to red to attack, and they're dumb as hell. Like you kill people next to each other, they don't even realize it. There's no sound detection in the sense of like you throw it, and there's no like the radius seems to be off. Like there's not. Yeah, and also he has a stamina meter that really doesn't function when you're climbing. It shows up, but it doesn't make you fall or anything like that. So it has no impact on there.
Does it
It does have
stop?
impact when no, it goes all the way down, and then he just kind of goes. "Arr, arr." He just stumbles a little bit, but doesn't fall or loses grip. He just goes, "Arr, arr," and then it fills up again. I'm
How
like,
old
I don't know
is
what the problem.
Indiana Jones supposed to be in this
He
one?
this is his prime, but he acts like an old man.
Okay, that's funny
Yeah,
because that's the
and he
sound
can't
I
throw
would make when I try to
punches.
climb stuff.
Yeah, like he can't throw punches like without his stamina. So like if you get a couple people at you, you can't just be swinging away. Same thing with the whip. I feel like the whip, if you just whip people, I had I don't know if you watched my stream, but I freaking laugh. I had a pause moment of just laughing because it's so comical. Like you like and the guy like there's like a little sweat that comes off of him. It looks so bad that the effect of hitting somebody with the whip, it only looks cool when you get into an animation where you tie around their feet or you whip a gun out of their hand. But just whipping somebody, it is comical because they just keep coming at you and you're whipping them and you just see this little like the splash. It's like splash, splash. Like the effects look so janky on those things. And the punch sound like you're shooting people. Like the gameplay is just off because then when it goes into the cinematic and it goes into the voice acting and the load screen and the way it starts up. It's just so smooth and so like wow, like this is pretty crazy. And then when you get into the game, it's like cue the Benny Hill music. It's like
Let the bodies hit the floor. Oh no, I was
no, like the
thinking of
Benny
Benny
Hill.
Hinn.
You
My
you know
bad.
when at the end of you ever watch Benny Hill?
Yes.
People watch the Grindhouse know the early days I used to play it. Now they copyright strike me if I play it. But I used to play the Benny Hill song all
Mm-mm.
the time. It's like and then they're all running fast. Like that's what I was doing yesterday. Like you could just walk around and they'll chase at you. They'll throw rocks at you, throw baguettes. Like they're just throwing stuff at you. I feel like gangs in New York and they're throwing things at you. And I'm just walking around, Janky Jones, and the AI is just like they just follow me around. I feel like I'm in the fucking Benny Hill. And
J Boy, hang on. J Boy 72 said he's carrying the burdens of Xbox. That's why he's making those noises.
it's the Phil Ness stamina meter. It's like I just had enough.
Stamina meter.
It's the Phil Ness meter. But yeah, like I was like running around Benny Hill style, like with them last night, and it was just I'm like, this is comical. Like the AI really, it's like the game. It's like they took this Indiana Jones and they say, how do we make it a game? And it's like, okay, well, we got to pace everything. We got to make everything slow and deliberate. Like put the key in the door, but now hit right on the stick to turn the key. There was a spider webs there. Your hand comes out, sticks in the spider webs. Now press left to move the spider web out of the way, and very slow and deliberate and like. And the puzzles, everything glows. Like you're walking around and like, everything you can pick up just glows, and everything you interact with.
Is the glowing better or worse than the yellow paint in Horizon Zero or Forbidden
It's
West?
worse than yellow
It's
paint
worse.
because it just glows. Like you look at a table and you're just like, oh, this is what I could pick up. Like there's no kind of it just glows. All your collectibles and everything like that, which is kind of like yeah, it just glows.
It just glows.
So
Indiana
like
Jones.
yeah, and that's where I feel like the game, like it goes from like it's jarring, and like I was saying on Mooch's show, like one of the other things is like even the clambering, like they should have just made it third person. They animated him in third person, like it pulls out in third person, like you said, climbing over a wall. Thrifty, it goes like this: he comes over a wall. You're in first person. It pulls out for a second and pulls back in. It's like a freaking amusement park ride. Like he just jumps over a wall. So you in first person, you grab the wall, the hands grab it, and then it pulls out to third person, and then it goes right back to first person when you're over the wall. And I'm like, what is the purpose of that?
That's
And
yuck.
it's very jarring, like the swinging back and forth to going from first person to third person. And I feel like they could have done, just thinking about it, they could have done a third person Indiana Jones. You didn't have to make it Uncharted, but make it third person. He could have used a cover mechanic similar to Gears of War, hiding behind cover, using his whip to take out lights, like real cool physics, and more interaction with the whip and the environment, like knocking things off of tables to make noise, or taking out light bulbs, or pulling items close to you with the whip, and or grabbing or like whipping up a weapon to pull to you, and having that kind of environmental awareness in a third person camera hiding behind cover, and you could kind of be Indiana Jones and use more of the whip. The whip really is not very, like, it's more of a just climbing, like whipping onto things where you could only, they tell you to whip. So even though it's an open world, you got to find like the only area that you could throw your whip at. And, and I thought they could have done more puzzles and stuff like that with the whip. Again, I haven't played too much of it. Maybe there is, but like there is yanking, like you can like get something for a puzzle and yank it. But I just think like with a third person, they could have really done something interesting and cool, especially with his iconic hat. You can make it that he gets hit and loses his hat, and you have to go pick up your hat and put your hat back on. Like they do have that mechanic, I think, as a revival thing, but it's in first person. If you die, you could crawl to your hat and grab it, and it goes to a cutscene, and then you could revive yourself. But in third person, it'd been cool if that hat had physics, and if you got hit, your hat comes off, and you're fighting without your hat, and then you go pick up your hat after the fight. Like I think people would have wanted a third person. It didn't have to be in Uncharted, but I think they could have done a lot more and have a lot more interaction into the gameplay element of it, and that would have been on top of the cinematics. It would have been like a new type of Uncharted, I think. with the cinematic and story and voice acting, and if you had some sort of element of gameplay like that in third person, they could have made their version of Uncharted, and it would have been its unique thing. It would have been slower paced,
Hmm.
more stealthy and stuff like that, rather than action packed big sequences. And they could have done a lot, but they went this first person, and it just seems sort of like you're running around. You have a map in front of you in order for the waypoints to pop up, so you got to run around with a book open. Even the
Now
book is not
that
even on the
reminds
page of the
me
map.
of Metro Exodus and the whole Metro saga.
Hmm.
But that also was a shooter that didn't rely on a ton of melee combat. Like, and I
Yeah.
think that's what gets me the most about games that do. That's why I didn't play Dying Light or Dying Light. I don't like. That's also why I didn't. Or I had a hard time playing Cyberpunk. Was because I don't like melee in first person. It feels clunky. It looks
Yes.
weird. I'm not a fan. It's just not good. But and then to add in the extra stuff and to make it slower pace, like one of the reasons why first person is good in certain games is because it can be played way more fast paced.
They could have done Indiana the VR game with this. The way how
Oh,
deliberate and
sure.
slow it is, this could have been. It looks like it could have been a VR game. Like, yeah, definitely the resolution and the environments, and that's what I say. The detail in the environments are
Frosty
crazy, but
Jones.
the NPCs and shit like that, like they do look a little off. They do the combat is interesting in some sense where you punch people, you do see like since you're first person, you could see the bruises and stuff on their face and reactions, which is interesting. But I don't know. It just I feel that they had this IP and they said, "Hey, let's try to do something with it." And they had the cinematic
Mm.
story and mocap down, but when the gameplay hit, it was just like, yeah, what's
So
like if
everybody
you
in
have
chat
stealth,
is
dude.
like saying that it's flopped, that it's died, and let's do something real quick because hang on, because we have the power of the internet. Give me just a second.
Did it flop or die? Like
Let's
I
see.
could tell you now that I really don't think that this like unless it's blown up on Game Pass, but I could tell you a lot of people on friends list, like I even streamers, like I haven't seen tons of people streaming it, like on Twitter, like if you go to X or whatever like that and looking, like I don't see a lot of people streaming it. There's no photo mode where you could put Indiana Jones in third person and take a photo. All you have is a camera, an old ass camera, by the way. So there's no like kind of photo modes. Um,
Ah,
yeah, I just
sorry,
yeah
Jez. We
again.
are we are praising a game that has 12,138 all-time peak players 2 days ago.
Dude, that's like play. That's crazy because they say the PlayStation games fail when they hit those numbers, and they're like 2-year-old games. This
What
game's a new release.
what I find funny is I was talking to somebody and they were like, "Well, it went up against these other two games, and so those two games obviously did better. So Indiana Jones is just going to like creep out of the woodwork." And I'm like, "Okay,
Nah, man, it's
so
not even.
2 days ago when all of those other games released, that was the most players this one had.
Yeah,
It didn't
nah,
increase. It didn't."
nah. It's not even on Amazon selling list. Like, it's not. There's not. Yeah, that's why I said like people like give Xbox a W. It's like okay, yeah, they made an immersive game, great,
They
and they
made a
got
not broken game.
highly rated on Metacritic. Good job, like and good job. But now comes the other effect. Does this thing have the impact on their platform? I'm not talking about console sales. I'm talking about the growth of Game Pass and all that other stuff. Like, you know. And my thing is like I said, I feel like if they knew they had a quality game, how do you not ride that momentum in the sense of getting those out as console bundles, as like some sort of special controller or something like that, and hyping up Game Pass for it. Like it just really like they did an IHOP promotion, which has nothing to goddamn do with Indiana Jones, but they gave him a fucking janky pancake.
So,
I
Hi-Fi Rush, another darling, another success,
high
another
reviewed, right?
amazing game, highly reviewed. Dude, when you said that, it triggered Hi-Fi Rush in me, and I was like, oh, I wonder what the Steam numbers for that were. They were exactly half of what um, Indiana Jones are. So,
There was
the
6,000 or
yeah,
half.
the all-time player peak was 6,000,
Oh my god,
and that was 2 months after launch. And so
Jesus.
or 1 year 9 months ago, whenever that is.
They
And
just
so
have that, as Jay Bar says, that stench. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with them. They cannot. I really think Game Pass has done more hurt than good.
so does Machine Games survive this? That's the question. Did it do well
I
enough to survive? I mean, we thought Hi-Fi did, and that studio is dead and gone. Tango get
Well, they
well.
got DLC planned for this, so we're gonna see after the DLC is planned.
Mm,
Like they got DLC probably gonna come out the PlayStation version.
yeah,
Um,
maybe.
which
Ah,
again, I think that's another thing too. Like, what the hell? Like, why would you even do that PlayStation announcement when they don't have a release date? Like, what was the whole purpose of that? You know, to
yeah.
get people not to subscribe, not to buy your ecosystem, not to pick up the game. Like, I don't think this game's gonna blow up on PlayStation either. The other thing too is like if I showed on my show at like the 10 million, they were expecting Starfield. They were saying Tim Stewart said when they bought Bethesda ZeniMax that Indiana Jones and Starfield were going to send 10 million. We're going to sell 10 million units on PlayStation alone, and that they would easily offset that by putting this game on PC and Game Pass and console subscriptions. That's what they said. That was Tim Stewart's justification
Sorry.
that they were, yeah, it is a joke, that they were going to offset the 10 million unit sales of Starfield and Indiana Jones because by making it exclusive to Game Pass, by offsetting it with console sales and with that. And you can look up the quote and show it if you want to show it, but he said it when in 2021, he said it a couple of years ago that they were going to offshoot that. The same time around when Booty said they were going to outspend Sony to kill them, you know? And they were
Jeez,
all Bethesda exclusives, ZeniMax. Shit changed, isn't it?
man.
Console sales.
This is what kills me though. Like, we have these people who champion these games and they don't do well. The media says they do amazing. Xbox doesn't come out and say shit. And somebody in the chat earlier, I don't remember who it was, but forgive me. Somebody in the chat earlier had said that we always hear when it's great, but we never hear when it's not. And so if you don't hear anything, just always assume the worst.
Well, that was
And
Halo Infinite, dude. They were writing Halo Infinite. Like, you remember Paul Tassi and stuff going, Halo Infinite's the best game. And then, like, a year later, he's like, no, this was horrible. I was, like, just riding the hype bandwagon because they didn't support it. And,
Brian,
you know, you
Brian East just said this. Totoki, if you aim for the king, Phil, you best not miss.
know?
Oh, that's funny.
And that's the thing. They need consistency. Like you said, 2 games, 3 games. Like,
Yeah.
they need a consistency roadmap. And
Hell, if Avowed comes out and knocks the doors off, and let's say, and I'll even say this, guys, I am not unreasonable here. If it comes out and Avowed hits and it has 15,
Valve has a
17,000 on,
Valve has a tough window, Thrifty.
I know it does, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if it comes out and
That's
it
tough
gets an
games right there.
all-time player peak of 17,000, scores in the high 80s, low 90s, like I'll even say mid 80s to low 90s, like that's another win.
I think Kingdom Come 2 is gonna go crazy on PC. I think Monster Hunter Wilds is gonna be wild, and
You know
I think even
that's not what you call that dang game. You know that's not what you
what
call that game. Kingdom
Kingdom
Come.
Come 2
Kingdom
come in your face
Come.
too. Kingdom Come in your face too. Yeah, but like that game's coming out. You got Assassin's Creed, and then you also have what's the other game that game?
This
Creed.
is this is the
You
month of
have
February, right?
Yeah, you got Assassin's Creed. You have Monster Hunter Wilds. You have what is the other game too? You got Kingdom Come in your face too, and then you also have there's another big one that's out that time too. Joshua, no, ask Alexa.
February. Okay. Kingdom Come, Deliverance 2, Rift of the Necromancer, Civilization 7, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Legend of Heroes, Trails Through Daybreak, which will probably be the one I pick up because that sounds exciting. Um, Tomb Raider, all of them, I'm sorry, 4, 5, and 6 remastered. Avowed, Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, and oh, a
Yes,
small
Pirate
one.
Yakuza.
It's just a small one called Monster Hunter Wilds. Just
Dude, that's a lot of games. They moved Avowed for room, dude. They moved Avowed for room. I think they should have put Avowed when it was supposed to. And then what's crazy is they gave all the previews for Avowed already last month. Like that like
I
What are they
mean,
going to do? They're going to re-preview it. If you look at Bootleg Jez's article said that this is the last time they're going to play Avowed until release. So there's going to be no more hands-on previews. That was it. Which I don't even know the logic to that, dude. What's the logic to that? You basically prematurely threw previews of Avowed out right before Indiana Jones last month, and now what are you gonna do? Re-preview it? Like, oh, relink my article from October about Avowed when the game comes out in February. Again, another misfire, man. I don't understand them.
yeah,
Like, I feel like they are so clueless over there. And another thing is just what pisses me off is that I feel like these games delayed in their windows, and even Indiana Jones in December. I'm wondering, Thrifty, how much of this is because they want production and content for Game Pass, that these games are missing missing the Game Awards window, getting pushed out to February for no reason, for room, for backlog. Like, the thing is like, how much of this is impacted by them trying to fill in a Game Pass calendar and not reading the market and reading the quality of the game and making the game be in the most opportunistic time frame for the betterment of the game and the gamer, or they're looking at it on the other end as like, what's more opportunistic for them to fill in a season of Game Pass. Like, dude, they were dry all year. People are like, Xbox had a great year. Dude, they did nothing. They had Hellblade 2, and then they were silent. They were talking, but there was no games coming out. And all of a sudden, at the end of the year, they throw you some Indiana Jones and the Stalker 2 and Call of Duty and broken ass Flight Simulator. And it's like, oh my God, they threw it all. Like, that's not how a subscription model should work. You imagine if Netflix said, hey, you know what? We're going to give you all like syndicated TV all year. We'll give you one show in May, and then in October, November, December, the last 3 months, we're going to throw a whole bunch of new movies at you. Would you subscribe for an entire year knowing that's the plan? I wouldn't.
hell
I'll be
no.
like, fuck you. I'll sign up in October. I say, thanks. I'll take all your shit now. Like,
Well, and also
like,
these games are
need
not
balance.
right, and these games do not seem super like long and like just these great 20, 30, 40 hour experiences. They're 5, 10, 12 hour games. Like, so I don't know. I feel like Game Pass is the biggest ripoff ever, and I feel like it's what's
I,
killed Xbox. And I think you're right. I think they moved it, and they moved Indiana Jones to December to say that, hey, we told you we'd give you something. Here's something. Uh,
yeah.
but I was just looking, and this is how dumb they are. If they move it to March, if they move Avowed just to March, they are dealing with so much less. Now, I understand that Ghost of Yotai doesn't have an actual date yet, and March is just one more month that could just be scary and have a ton of crap drop. But right now, the things that we know of in March are JRPG, a couple titles there, and like Xenogears. And outside of that, I didn't see anything on the list that really just jumps out at me that you couldn't shove Avowed next to, and it would be the marquee game.
Mm-hmm.
But man, doing it in February, you're asking a lot. Like, I honestly think that Assassin's Creed Shadows is in February to help it hide. Like, I don't
Well,
think Ubisoft
that's going to
wants
be the
that
end.
game
That's
to do
going to be
good.
the end of Ubisoft. That's the end.
Yes, it
That's
is.
Yves sign off.
That's
That's the
that's
end. I think Ubisoft gets sold by Assassin's Creed. I think right after Assassin's Creed, because guess what? If you're gonna buy a company, you think you're gonna buy in between a game that could potentially be good, dude. They will be talking about buying them when that game comes out.
mm,
Because you want to buy them at low. You don't want to buy them high.
it's so
Like,
bad.
why would you want to buy Ubisoft after Assassin's Creed comes out? It does bangers, and it's like, oh no, now their stock went up. Now I'm gonna pay more money. I would buy them in freaking end of January, right before Assassin's Creed comes out, so I can reap the benefits of if Assassin's Creed does good.
Yeah, that's I really think that's what they're doing. Like, let's shove it in there and then blame the market on do what Xbox does. Blame the market. Just say the market's bad.
Blame the gamer. Yeah.
Yeah, the market's
I
terrible.
told you. Nobody's buying consoles anymore,
No,
Phil says. Go look at the top 100 games. They're not buying your console.
they're not buying your shit. They're
They're
still
not buying
buying.
you. Yeah, people are buying shit. They're just not buying your shit.
Look at Sony's stock price. People are buying a ton of stuff. It's
Yo,
just nothing from you.
Sony's selling everything, man. You go look at that Amazon top 100. It's like you go like Phil Spencer going, nobody buying our console.
Bro,
Yeah.
last time I looked at the Amazon top 100, I got copyright strike. And so,
Did you?
yes,
Oh shit, I
because
didn't. What
because
the hell
I
did you do?
showed, dude, I showed it was when uh there was something that was talked about dropping, and somebody had put up online that there was information on Google, I'm sorry, on Amazon. From the UK, and like I tried to find it and see it, and anyways, it didn't work. And
Oh
the
shit, I
the
don't know what the
next
hell.
day,
Yeah.
I got this little strike that said, "Hey, warning, you can't take this. Do you want us to edit it out?" And I did, and whatever. Uh, but like it was dumb. So I don't pull up Amazon anymore.
Oh damn, that's wild.
It was very wild. But no, like seeing what they're doing with like AC Shadows and everything else that's coming out, it's man, they are in a very very bad way, and they are closing studios. There's more closures coming next year. It's just Ubisoft and Xbox sound a whole lot alike when you talk about them, so you have to be really careful because they,
Yeah, I know.
God bless, dude. Both of them. Like, do you want to go work for these companies? We can't guarantee you'll have a job in 6 months, but come on over. It'll be great. Come on. We're not all depressed and sad and losing our jobs and producing games that suck because we don't care anymore. Like, come on over. It just feels like that's what you get
Yeah,
with
I
those two
know.
companies, man. Ah, it's so bad. But let's talk about a company that we actually like. It is Bend Studios. So some stuff
Oh
happened.
yeah.
Jez, did you know about this?
I saw the article. Yeah, I did see the
Okay,
with the new the screenshots,
the
which it can be
screenshots.
any more blurrier than anything.
Right. Oh, they
I
look
swear.
they look fantastic. Let's-
Yeah, I tell you. But I kind of knew like that was my. It was funny because that was like my prediction about it. But yeah, yeah, read the article.
Well, I'm not
I was
even going to
wanna.
read it. So basically what happened was I'm just going to zoom in so people can actually read the dang thing if they want to. So basically what happened was is that Sony Bend one of their UI designers, the portfolio was discovered online. I'll just fucking read it. And it seems to feature in development screenshots of the studio's next game. For a while now, we've known that the developers over at Bin Studio, who is responsible for Days Gone, Siphon Filter, and Uncharted Golden Abyss, is working on a new game. That mysterious new IP isn't Days Gone 2 like so many fans had hoped for some reason. Shut up. But that leaves an even bigger
Mm,
question. What has Sony been working on since 2019 and up until now? We haven't known, blah, blah, blah. It was an open world game. It's this, it's that, using a lot of stuff they knew from Days Gone. We've already talked about that. Here is the um, here are the screenshots. So you got this right here. Looks like it's going to be a shooter. Looks like it's going to be an open world style shooter. Let me come over here. This looks like it's one of the areas. Like honestly, this looks like stage one of Destiny. I'm not even kidding. Of Destiny 2. Like it reminds me of when you come out of that like little cave area after you just get your gun and like you have to like jump up and down on those big ass crates at the beginning of Destiny 2. Like that's what this reminds me of. It looks like we have some sort of like they said in the article, like military shooter.
siphon filter.
Siphon filter. Right.
I think it's gonna have some sort. Well, then we know. Yeah, I think there's some sort of siphon filter thing or along those lines. Like if it's like a siphon filter slash SOCOM type thing, like military espionage shooter, like I think that's definitely a genre that has not really been
Hmm.
explored too much, and I think it'll fit perfectly with their legacy. And also, too, remember they've been putting a lot of siphon filter. I remember like they've been put all the siphon filter games now on PlayStation classics, so they put them all out there. And they would always tweet out like, "Hey, siphon filters in there." So I do think it's not maybe not a siphon filter, but it's built into it's taken from the legacy of Siphon Filter, like a new IP based off of something like that, which that's what I think is probably going to be. Yeah, I think it's going to be something along those lines.
Yeah, I did.
And
So what's really interesting is when you pull up some of the screenshots of the way, and this is a little bit of a reach, I understood, but when you pull up some of the screenshots of Siphon Filter and like the way they did their menu readouts of their guns and everything, it looks like this is an updated version of that. And so that, like you said, it could very well be a Siphon Filter. All I know is that this is one of the rumors that is for tomorrow, that we might be able to see whatever Sony Bend has been working on from, God, 5 years ago. 5 years. 5 years, guys, to make a game.
it's
Five
too long, man.
years to make a game where you have damn near unlimited access to funding. Like, that's insane. Thrifty PS gamer reacher? Sometimes. Sometimes. Like, I'm not going to deny it. Sometimes I reach, but sometimes I don't. And sometimes I get it right. But no, so all of that, that's really cool. Sony Bend, they're going to do their thing. They're going to give us stuff. Uh, I don't usually like to cover rumors, but like I said, slow news week, so let's cover some rumors. Uh, so let's get into those. The Game Awards. Dear God, I picked this article just for the headline. It says Game Awards 2024 UK start time leaks, rumors, GTA 6, Mafia, Switch 2, Resident Evil 9, and more. Like, damn it, man. This guy is like a 4chan specialist. He is
Jesus.
hitting everything. We are getting all of it. We're going to get GTA 6 tomorrow, Mafia. Nintendo is going to
I
like,
think we get Mafia.
oh,
We
dude, I
already
hope
got that
so.
announcement. I think they got the announcement already from. Remember that was the one more thing that got smothered because of the Indiana Jones thing. But yeah, I think we'll get gameplay to Mafia tomorrow. I think that's definite.
Depending on what the games look like next year, that is definitely in the running for me for next year because I like that style.
Oh yeah, Mafia is good.
And so Switch 2, maybe not, don't care. J-
I don't know, man. Do you think? You think Nintendo announces hardware at this thing? I don't even know.
Oh, do I
Nintendo?
think? Hell no. They don't
Oh,
usually
okay,
buddy
good.
buddy with them. Like,
Yeah, Nintendo don't use a stage. That's a Phil Spencer move. Go out on stage and announce a console at the fucking Game Awards.
ooh, do you think we
And
get
people,
Stripper Glitter Part 2?
I saw people reviewing that. That's hoping. I don't think so. You know what people are doing though, Thrifty? I think people are they're basically saying because Sarah Bond said you're gonna have some new hardware announcements. They're like this is the last time that they can announce any new hardware announcements. But she, I think, was referring to the stripper glitter Xbox. I don't think she was talking about no Xbox thing, unless Phil Spencer talks about. Nah, see, when he was talking about the portable, it doesn't seem like it's ready for next year. Like they could talk about some Project X or some bullshit like that. Like if Xbox announces anything, it's a project name. But I really I don't think so. I don't think they would do that. I think next show at that show they would announce something like that next year. I don't think so
Okay,
because they're
yeah, I
not in
mean,
that console fight, dude. I can't see Xbox going out there and announcing a brand new console when their console sales are like 40. They're 40. They're down and they're anticipated more now. Like,
well,
why are
and
you
they're
going to
down
announce new
from
hardware?
being down, right? They're not like PlayStation that are
Yeah,
down from being massively up. They're down from being bad last year. And so
yeah,
it's gotten
exactly. And what are
worse.
you going to do? Another console? What is that? To what's already out there. Thrifty, think about it. I'm sorry to cut you off. Like, think of, if they came out and said we're going to do Project X2. What the hell? If your sales now are fucking minus 29%, minus 49% year over year, people are not gonna. If you, there's no, you're really killing yourself if you announce a new project something that people have to wait for over a year or so. That well, we're working on the next console with Project X. This it's going to be revolutionary. Then you really stop sales. Like it would go even worse. Like it would be. I don't even know. Like whoever's left will stop buying consoles. Like
Well,
that's
and
that's self
the
sabotage.
thing
Everyone
is,
do
you
that.
can't have here's the baffling thing about me. If somebody looks at me and goes, "I can't believe you would buy another console from PlayStation." Let's talk about the Pro, right? I can look at them and go, "Listen, they've already given me this game, this game, this game, this game, and this game. Like they've already
Yep.
given me God of
And have
War
announced this
Ragnarok.
game and this game, Death Stranding
Right.
2 and Ghost of Yotai.
Right. They've already given me God of War Ragnarok. They've already given me Spider-Man 2. They've already given me Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Returnal, Kena Bridge of Spirits, Final Fantasy 7
Horizon,
remake, Stellar Blade, Horizon. Jesus, they've
Gran
already
Turismo,
given me so many games
Miles
that are
Morales,
quality
Demon
and are
Souls.
good. Like
I keep going. What else you want? Demon
it's like we have
Souls.
a background playing here while like this is
Yeah, right.
I'm
Yeah, yeah, keep
telling you,
talking.
like
I'll keep
you could
naming
just
games.
keep naming these freaking games,
I'll
man.
do another one.
Like it's it's
Sackboy,
so
Astrobot.
different
Keep going,
when
Dusty.
PlayStation comes and says, "Hey, we have a new console." Somebody looks at me and goes, "Why would you do that?" Well, because they've taken care of me really,
Final
really well
Fantasy
on this one.
16, Final Fantasy Rebirth.
They have taken such good care of me.
Rise of
This
Ronin.
is when you look at Xbox and go, Xbox, why would you release another console when you haven't even given consistent quality games on your current console? People don't trust you. They're not buying
Hmm.
from you. You need to rebuild that trust. You need to be scrappy. You need to make games like Indiana Jones that have nothing that I can really compare them to because they're kind of their own thing. Good job. I'm not saying it's for me. I'm not probably going to play it. But like it's still your own lane and you did it to the tune of a high 80 and a low 90. Like that's good. That's really good. Now do it again. Like, not
Yeah.
every game has to be a 60, 70, 80 hour action adventure ARPG where you have these big, beautiful everything all the way throughout. No. Find what y'all are going to do and do it well. This is what we talked about on this channel probably all throughout this year is Xbox needs to figure out their lane and then actually deliver the games in that lane. However they're going to do it, however they want to deliver it, whether it's handheld, Steam, whether it's they're getting rid of Xbox and just calling it Microsoft Gaming, whether it's Game Pass, screens are everywhere. Just pick something, who gives a shit, and give us good games. And I say us because I fully freaking believe that Sony would be pushing the envelope a whole lot harder right now if they had competition. And I'm not saying they're being lazy. I'm not
Hmm.
saying they're being anything. I think that the cadence that they're going to start delivering games to us is great. I do think this year was a down year, but I am saying that the competition makes them try even more. It makes them do even better. And so I want this. I know, Jez, you've talked about it many times. You like you love gaming on everything. And so
Yeah, I'll go with the games are.
like you go where the games are. And so because of that, you've spent money on this, you've invested into this product and this ecosystem, and they've given you jack shit. How much of a slap in the face would it be to their fan base to go, hey guys, I know we haven't given you any fucking reason to buy the Series S or X, but now we're going to give you the Series X squared. Come and get it. Like, what the like?
Exactly. Like, that's why I thought it was insane, like in February, that they were talking about new hardware. It's like, what are you talking about, new hardware? Oh, we'll have most innovative hardware. Why would you even bring that up? Like, deliver on what you are 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 making, like all these studios, all this stuff, and yeah, they really, yeah, I just feel that they just string these people along about like more hardware, and they think that, but you could see it already on online social media, like they think that this portable Xbox is gonna be it's gonna be like the Ten Commandments of Moses, is gonna say it's gonna save everything. It's like, you're right, it's the content, dude. It's not, it can't be. You can't just have hardware, just keep delivering.
Well,
Like,
and
you gotta have software.
that's what's crazy is when the PlayStation Portal came out and they talked about the and guys, we are about to wrap up. We got about 15, 20 minutes left. Hit that like button. But the basically the things that we've been talking about, all of this gaming stuff, uh, all of these companies, these games that have come out, these gameplay mechanics, the things that we love, like if they can just find that and keep building on it and keep giving quality, who knows, man? They might have something.
Mhm.
But the problem is, and I've said it so many times, I've said it so many times, the problem is they can't do two things right in a row. They just
No.
can't. So like that means tomorrow's show is going to be like if past is future, then or if past is precedent, then we have to look and go, holy shit, something very, very bad is about to happen.
Yeah, like I don't, I really think that they, yeah, I don't know. Like I think maybe they have a Fable, maybe a Fable trailer or something like that, but I can't see them doing hardware there. I cannot
But if they
see
don't
them
fix her
doing
face,
again.
nobody cares about Fable. Like,
Ugh.
let's just be
But
honest.
then
That's
did
gonna
you
be the name of
hear
it.
like the rumor? I don't know what the rumor was about Halo Fable, but they were saying like the Fable was gonna be kind of like her journey through all the tales, like Jack and the Beanstalk, and it's gonna be episodic.
Ooh.
I saw some rumor going around with that shit that it was gonna be like you are this character, and this character then goes through all the different Fable things, like Gulliver's
Okay, see, that
Travels,
would be fun to me.
Jack of the Beanstalk, and that would be kind of an episodic Fable. That's why it's called Fable. Like you'll do episodic adventures of like this is the Jack and Beanstalk episode. This is this one, which that could be an interesting
Yeah.
thing. I don't
No,
know if
that
that's what
actually
everybody
interests me. That
wants.
sounds really fun.
Yeah, that does that. I don't know if it will be interesting to kind of retell things like like what is it, the Grimm's Tales or something like that, like Grimm's Fairy Tales. That's definitely a cool element to it. But but I don't know if that's what Fable fans want. They think they want like
Oh, that's
Fable
true.
2 or
I've
you
never
know.
played Fable, so
Which is the problem? Well, I played them. Which is the problem? It's like it was all about choice, and your character evolves and changes with choice. That was Pia Molyneux's whole thing, and like you have this impact. So it was like that. It wouldn't be this one character, and this one character kind of does these things. Like maybe choice is involved, but that's a big factor, and that's a problem that they have by putting the Fable name on here. Is that now you have the pressures of the past that you have to meet the expectations of what people expect in a Fable franchise, but you want to try to do something different. It's always like that challenge that you have. So, same thing, dudes. You had the initiative and they could have done something new and brand new. Instead, you gave them Perfect Dark, which, okay, they could try to take Perfect Dark in their way, but they still have to stay true to the IP. So you kind of limit them, and there's expectations that people have. And it's tough to meet expectations for a game that has a legacy with a completely different studio and a different developer and different people, and it's hard to pick up the torch and do that if there's no legacy there. So talking about Playground Games making a Fable game, it's like where your Lionhead's gone. So I don't know, but Microsoft they have tons of games. That's the thing, and I think the quality games. I don't know, man. I really don't know where to begin like with this stuff. I just feel like it's self-sabotage. I feel like they want to embrace the brand and then they don't want to like you just saw didn't you see the Booty interview? They dug him out of a hole. They saw his ass cheeks popping up out of the grass and they dug him up. Booty did an interview for some reason and he's like, "Well, it's still a case-by-case basis." And it's like Phil just did the no red line and talked
yeah,
about Halo and
yeah.
now Booty's like it's still a case by case basis. We're looking at it. It's not every game we're looking. It's like, what side of the bed did you wake up on? Everybody plays, we all win. Everything's an Xbox. You just saw the thing. What did they just do? They said every platform that you want Xbox to like, they consider PlayStation 4 and 5 a friggin' platform.
Shit,
And then
I
all of a
played
sudden,
900 and no, I played
it's
almost
just
1,000 hours on an Xbox then this year. Shit.
and Thrifty, that's their problem. It's their loss of identity. In their I always say this, like in their exploration for 200 million gamers, they've lost whatever the hell Xbox means and whatever it is. That's why when Phil's like, this is the biggest we ever seen Xbox, it's like, what are you counting now? What is Xbox? You just said everything's an Xbox. So of course Xbox will be the biggest it ever is. You just told Samsung that they're selling Xboxes now. You just told Amazon that they're selling Xboxes with their Fire Sticks. You
Yeah.
called everything an Xbox. So don't play friggin' game like word games with us. Like and make it look like it's the Xbox console. Well, now when you talk about that, are you referring to PlayStation? Because that's listed as an Xbox device. Like, so what, and then you say you play your all win. The experience of Xbox is completely different on a Fire Stick, on a MetaQuest, on an Xbox console, on a TV, on a phone. Like the games available and everything like that is completely different. So how do you just blanket statement everything is an Xbox when the experience is not the same on any of these devices? So one's cloud, one's native, one's small screens, one's touch screens. One's on a Meta Quest in a virtual environment with a controller. One's on a Samsung TV with a controller. One's with a Fire Stick streamed over the internet. And your library differentiates. Are you subscribed to Game Pass? Well, you get the Game Pass library. You bought games, 50 of them are available right now. You bought a whole bunch of games, 360 games are available on the Xbox console. Your library differentiates from all these devices as well. So it's not easy. It's just classifying everything as an Xbox and calling it a day. That's laziness because you haven't put in the work. You have not put in the work to make it a seamless experience of your library. Your games don't go with you because guess what? Games that I purchased for the Xbox 360 that come with me on my Xbox console, they don't go with me on my phone. They're not on my PC. They're not on my MetaQuest. So why are you calling those Xboxes? You're lying to your consumer. You're making us feel like we're dumb, and that's why I always grind my gears on that shit because I don't like being spoken to like I'm the ignorant one, and you're just gonna try to swindle me with some sort of like car salesman bullshit. And that's how I feel Microsoft and Xbox treat the consumer. They think that we're just dumb numbskulls, and they're the smart ones. Meanwhile, they're the ones with the head up their ass.
Yeah, no, it's
the big corporation,
and that's what I find interesting. We talked about this last week, Falky and I did, and it's interesting and it's amazing that the smaller the dev team, it's almost a direct correlation. If you remove PlayStation Studios, the smaller the dev team, the better the game, at least of recent memory, right? Or you have a game that comes out and punches way above its weight class with a team of 12, or even 4 brothers. Like, I don't remember what game that was, but there was a game recently, and I can't remember what it is now, but it was made by like 4 brothers.
Kana, maybe 2 brothers.
No.
Kana was.
No, Kana was made by Ember Labs.
Yeah, but they're like 2 brothers. They're 2 guys.
Sure. There was another one that had come out, and it was just 4 dudes. They made the game. It was an indie title.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so but all of these games seem to punch way above their weight class. Hell, not Sea of Thieves, Chained Echoes is getting a DLC. Like, damn near 2 years after release, it's getting a DLC. That's freaking awesome. It was made by one person. And, like, you have these major, massive-ass companies that do not know what they're doing, don't know how to market their games. You type in, here you go, look at this, and then, watch this shit. This is funny. So you type in Indiana Jones and the Great Circle on Google, and you hit enter. First thing it pulls up is what platforms it's available on. PlayStation 5 is the first one listed.
I know. I thought that was crazy, dude. Yes.
You come over here to the to the first website, it's Steam. Second website, Bethesda. Third website, Wikipedia. Fourth website is PlayStation. There is no Xbox, Microsoft, not a gosh damn thing. You come over here to the About tab, right over here. And the first platform mentioned is a PlayStation 5.
I know, without the release date. There's no release date.
Gosh, this is fucking insane.
What was, like I said, Thrifty, what was the purpose of them announcing it so early? You couldn't even ride the momentum of the game. Did you really think? And this is what kills me, Thrifty. That Phil Spencer said that Redfall had double point mock reviews.
Yeah. Theirs were double digits higher than the ones they received.
Yeah. What were the mock reviews of Indiana Jones? If you knew if they were coming in, you really thought that this was not going to get an 80
that bad and lower expectations that much.
You put it at the ass end of December, and you know what else, Thrifty too. You got to think. December, the year is over, end of year, the Games of the Year nominations already been out there. It all is. The reviewers now are sort of like, hey, before the holidays, yeah, the game is great, isn't it? Like there's no kind of measurement where, how we are with years and stuff like that. Like they'll be like, oh yeah, that was a great year. Like it's not going to carry over to January. So like, if you review something in January, you're probably a little bit more like, oh well, wait a second. There's going to be a lot of games coming out. There's game of nine. What am I going to give a
Oh,
game that comes out in March and April, right?
that's a
Or
good point.
December, November. But at December, fuck yeah, that's a 10 out of 10. I'm going on vacation, bitch. I'm going to build a snowman. You know what I mean? People don't give a fuck. Like at the end of the year, there's nothing. It's December 9th. Oh yeah, give it a fucking 90. I'm out of here. And at the beach.
This is the
It's
last
it's
shit I have to write
holidays.
for the next 3 weeks. I'm good.
I'm done. It's a 10 at the, but meanwhile, here comes January 15th and here comes a game. It's like, oh shit, look at the games coming out this year. I can't, if I give this game an 8, what, there's a lot of games coming out. Like they're going to measure my 8 versus like these, like it's going to be weighted because the whole year now has to come. So you see in the beginning of the year, sometimes, unless it's a banger, a lot of games are very conservative or very critical in the beginning of the year, because they have a whole year of reviews to do for game of the year, and they got to be kind of weighted because they're going to be all considered for game of the year. Dude, this game comes out December. Halo got the same thing. December, it's like, phew, throw it, throw it
Well,
out
and it's crazy
there.
because PlayStation normally does like August, September, October. That's kind of their area.
That's the prime time where this game should have been.
If I'm not mistaken, was wasn't Spider-Man 2 in it was October 20
September. It was
was it
September.
September?
I think it was end of September, or you're
I
right.
thought it
Maybe it
was
was October.
October 20
Spider-Man
something.
1 was Spider-Man 1 for the PS4 was September, yeah.
There was one that they did I thought that was in November. Was that Ragnarok? Was Ragnarok in November?
Ragnarok was November, yeah. Ragnarok was
But that was
November.
like the latest one that I can remember them doing.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
like
because people thought it was gonna get delayed, remember? Like,
yes,
oh, it's delayed.
because and then it was like, oh my god, yes. Which I'll be honest, guys. Tomorrow, when it comes to the Game Awards show, I don't really care about the awards from this show. I want that moment though. I want that moment where there's at least one thing tomorrow that I see that I'm like, oh my goodness, it's here, or it's a couple months away, or it's coming. Like,
It's
I
coming.
want that feeling tomorrow at least one time. I have been. I have lowered my expectations on game shows so much that all I want is one game that really just strikes a box for me, and it needs to be something special. Like I'm looking for I'm not wanting a remake or a remaster or anything.
Yeah.
I want a new IP. I would love to see more from the folks over at Archetype Entertainment. They are releasing a ton of stuff weekly on Exodus. Really want to see more of that game. Maybe some gameplay would be super cool. But like PlayStation Studios, show us some more Wolverine. In, it'd be really strange to me that Insomniac can go back to back to back to back to back and just keep releasing these games once every 2 years, and then all of a sudden we're gonna go 3 years or 4 years without an Insomniac
Uh,
title. Like that's
it's been a long time. You're right, Dorothy. Like that's I was saying this on Mucho's thing. Like I think the stars are aligned. Like you got the Portal out there, you got the PlayStation Pro out there, you got your headsets, your new dashboard. Like these studios have been cooking so long. Like goddamn, it's time. Like enough is enough. Like I think we got to get right. I think the whole industry is ready for like a huge blowout of games for next year.
oh yeah,
Like
and
I really think we're ready.
everybody is terrified about GTA 6, and I'm sitting here wondering, like, dear God, GTA 6, can you please just give us a effing release date so we can start hearing from these other companies? Because nobody's talking until y'all give a release date. Like,
Exactly.
and that's not hyperbole. That's not me making it up. There's articles out there where devs have actually said we are actively trying to avoid clashing with the GTA 6 launch. Like, it's very well known that that game is going to absolutely hammer the market when it comes out. Whether you're a fan like everybody else in the world, or you're the one guy like me who just doesn't really like them, or doesn't like GTA 5 at least. And so, like, it's you gotta at least look at it and go, hey, this game is gonna come out. It's gonna do absolute numbers. So there's stuff for tomorrow that we might get that. And dear goodness, I hope so, because once they give a release date, then we can start hearing from everybody else.
Yeah,
Like,
right. I don't. I see. I don't think GTA will be there tomorrow.
I'm not saying it will. I'm just saying I
Do you
hope.
think? Like, you think it
No,
will be?
shit, no. I think
They don't usually
honestly,
need Jeff Keighley.
I gotta go get the playground pup inside the house. Hang on.
I don't think they need a Jeff. Like, I don't think they need a Jeff Keighley show. Like, they could just do a tweet in January and destroy the internet.
Because what, I'll be at work one day just randomly on like a Tuesday, and all of a sudden my YouTube, rewatching your show on, uh, or re-listening to your show on Tuesday mornings, all of a sudden the internet just crashes. What the fuck happened? Oh, GTA 6 released their trailer. That's what
Yeah,
happened.
exactly, dude.
Got
I'm
it.
telling you.
That's
It
that's what
will. It'll
happened.
break the like the yeah. Or they just show some gameplay
Golly,
because
man.
they've done the trail of the game, but like, yeah,
I
they
don't
show
know.
some gameplay.
Chat, are y'all super hyped about the game show? Like, I I feel like at least the people on this channel and the people in the Discord and even the folks on your channel, Jez, who show up over there, like, I feel like we're all done with Jeff Keighley. Like, I almost didn't cover it tonight.
Yeah,
I just,
really, you have to, dude. Like,
I know that's why I did, but I didn't want to.
I know, I know. I'm done with his ass. Like him 3 times a year with his stupid ass shows.
It's so annoying.
Like that's all we got now. Like that's it.
I know, and
They
I
give it to
wish these
him.
other shows would give us like, let me see the BAFTA awards. Let me see shit. PlayStation does awards every year in house. Like, let us see those. Let us see where y'all rank y'all studios. Let us like show us something. Don't just make it to where every year we have to see Jeff Keighley come out in a shirt that was for his toddler. Like, let's not do that. Like, we don't need to
I
do
know,
that.
man.
But and so yeah, I almost didn't cover it. I'm so because what's gonna happen is the award show is gonna happen tomorrow. Oh, sorry. The award show is gonna happen tomorrow, and I'm gonna be an hour late to it, like I am every year, because that's about the time I start cooking dinner, get my kids to bed, and all that.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna fast forward through all the bullshit, fast forward through all the stuff I don't care about, go to Game Ranks or the Gamer and see who won what, watch the trailers, and be done in 30 minutes. Like that's
That's yeah, because I'm probably not unless something crazy's announced on that show. Like I may go live just to kind of do the tail end of it, but otherwise, like yeah, that's the way I watch it. Is like to see the trailers because there's first off, Thrifty, like there's tons of performance. Like Snoop Dogg's playing, like 21 somebody's coming. Like he's having a whole bunch of music performance. We're gonna see the flute. I gotta see the flute, the flute. We got to see him jamming. He last year he brought out the friggin' bassoon. Phil Ness, man, the flute came out there. We brought out the goddamn bassoon last year. Will Phil? I'm gonna ask you, Thrifty. I'm gonna ask you a question.
okay.
Nobody leaves here without answering this question. Will Phil Spencer be on stage?
On
Phil
stage?
Spencer.
On stage. Oh shit, chat. What do you think? Will Phil Spencer be on stage? Will his Philness grace our
Phil Ness.
grace our
He'll
presence?
be out there playing the flute. We know that. He's has the performance.
He'll be.
But will he be on stage talking his
Hmm.
bullshit?
There's no game from them except Call of Duty that's nominated, is there? I don't think. I think
That's
they
a good
have Call of
question.
Duty and that's
Well, they
it.
got Todd Howard's going to be there, so Phil's going to be there because that's his driver.
Well, right, but like I think it's going to be like the other year. Remember a couple years ago, maybe it was last year, where Phil was there and
Presents an award. Oh, sitting in the crowd with
none
that
of their
smirk.
shit got nominated.
They made Aaron Greenberg like roll up there and select
Yes.
his the Forza thing. Yeah, because there's no games really. Like it's there. Last year had Starfield, but they are going to have Todd Howard on this stage.
What's Todd
He's
Howard going to
presenting
show
him.
off?
He's going to present an award.
The fuck is it? The best way to disappoint your fan base award? Like what the hell?
It's gonna. I don't know the Janky Jones Award. I don't know
The
what the hell
Janky
he's gonna.
Jones award.
He's
Hey
gonna come up
guys,
there.
Here's the deal, Jez. If this game came out on PlayStation, day one release from a PlayStation studio, what do you think the rating would have been? I'm not trying to imply a
What
tax or
game?
anything, but if Indiana Jones was made by Insomniac Games or Sony Santa Monica and it came out, I think that game gets a 75 all day
Oh
long.
hell yeah! Oh yeah,
All day long.
dude. Yeah, that game would have been. They would have been looking up Indiana Jones ass hairs. They would have
But
been looking up. Believe
but
me,
they
they're
did
zooming in.
such a smart.
Did you see the digital film thing? Oh no, you said you didn't because you were working. You didn't. You didn't
Yes,
watch my
correct. I couldn't
dude.
watch the gameplay.
They would add a double monocle out there zooming in on textures for this thing. The guy reviewed the Series S version. You couldn't even see the trees. It looked like a blurry green background, and he was like, "But that's not really the purpose of the machine for being on a 4K." It's like, what the hell are you talking about, dude?
DE, that's funny. The best third person animation award. That's great. That's that.
The best game. Oh, I got to come up with my awards. The best game that goes from
Yes.
first person to third person and has punching.
Has
Who's gonna win
punching.
that one? And has and the punches sound like gunshots.
So, speaking of that, that is another thing that we were talking about earlier about like PoE and rivals. All of the hitting and the punching and the guns and everything in both of those games soundscapes are spot on. Like everything feels really good
Yes, the
in
sound's really
both
good.
of them. And like the feedback from casting like a lightning spell, especially if you have your headphones on, you can like hear the crackling. It's very very nice. And so, anyways, that was just a side note. But like, we're gonna see all these things tomorrow. We're gonna have a great time with it. If it's something special, Jez will go live. My wife is actually out, so I'm handling all of bedtime tomorrow night. She has her women's group that she does with our church, so that's actually why it's so hard for me to get on Mooch's show because I don't have Thursdays off anymore because when Salty stopped doing Thursdays, well, my wife moved her, or they moved the women's Bible study uh, from Tuesday back over to Thursday because it worked for everybody else. So, anyways, that's just a little peek into scheduling over here. We are doing a show next week and that show is, I believe, going to have Cosmic and Will on. It is the third Wednesday, so Will be on next week along with Cosmic. He's going to return. He has some really good rants. Will has some really good rants. Can't wait to get both of them in the same room at the same time. That's going to be funny. And we should have a good show next week. Jez, I know you're exhausted. You've done like 3 shows. You've been gaming your ass off this week. You haven't put a controller down. You have a job. You have a family. Thank you so much for coming on tonight and hanging out and just being here. I really appreciate it. Thanks for the name drop on Mooch's show. I didn't ask you to do
Sure,
that,
no
but I
problem,
truly
man.
appreciate that. That's fun. Um, Guys, I have the link to his Twitter and his YouTube channel in the description below. But Jez, just in case that some of these people do not know where they can find you, where are you and what do you do at the Gaming Grindhouse?
All right, I like game. Yo, thank you again for the show, man. I had a blast. Sorry if I was. I was playing Path of Exile 2, and as you're talking about the game, I was, dude, this Path of Exile 2 is friggin' lit. I'm
It
like,
grabs you, doesn't it? Like it.
yo, I'm in just, and also too, now that I leveled up enough, like I feel like I'm like super good now. Like now I could like, I think I'm feeling like I could beat. Before it was definitely hard, and now I think just grinding a little bit, you guys there. And now I feel like I'm like super, like I'm like rocking all these moves, and everything's just clicking. So
Yes.
once you get off that little hump of like walking around, but yeah, man,
Awesome.
thank you again. By the way, I promised Thrifty to be on his show first before Mooch, but anyway, but that was a promise. But yeah, thank you again for letting me just go off on my rants and talking. I love like it's good interacting with somebody. And I gotta get you back on the show because yeah, sometimes when it's just a one man team, sometimes my throat just goes crazy and all the yelling and stuff. Like I feel it the next day. But it's always a good time. Definitely here at the Thrifty Show. And hit that like button, everybody, and thanks for coming through. My show is the Gaming Grindhouse on Monday nights at 8 o'clock. I also do Grinds Bites throughout the week. I also have the Gaming Grindhouse music and records that we do all these fun music things that the members and also everybody that goes to the channel could listen to. It's just fun music, and just have a blast over there. And home of the grinds board with all the sounds of all everybody you think of. So
Yes, it's
uh,
fantastic, guys.
it's
Um,
evolving as we go.
go that Jez is actually the longest, uh, not subscription, but the longest membership I've carried on YouTube now. And like,
Damn.
go support him. If you're already supporting him, thank you. He does a lot and he provides a ton of content. He's actually inspired me to start doing more content when it comes to the members. And so, because he does a lot of stuff for his members, guys, he gives people exclusive videos. He does like music. He which is he does these funny songs. They're
The
hilarious.
funniest songs.
Like he has a lot of things for members. He does, and so I'm wanting to do a
And we're
couple
on our
things
way
for
next
members.
emoji. Yeah.
Yes, speaking of that, guys, if you are a member of this channel, you do have emojis. Right now, I think that with what Steven did earlier, we get to keep all of our emojis, but it was super close to losing one of them. But that's okay. I think he got us back up there. And so everything stays. You can use those. Have a blast with them. I'm going to be adding more badges. Also, if you are interested, check me out on the PlayStation at thrifty ps underscore gr. I do plan on starting a guild up in Path of Exile 2 because I can't help it. This game has made me stop everything else. Like, I'm not even kidding. It's so fun. Hang with it. It's going to bring a ton of people in who have not normally played these games like it did with Jez. And if I can be a part of that in any way, shape, or form, please let me know. I love these games. So, were you going to say something, bud?
Yeah, no, this game is really good.
Are you still
But
playing it right now?
hell yeah, I've been playing it. I did. I
Well,
just leveled up
so
again.
let me hop off the stream, use the restroom, and then I'll come over and I'll
Dude,
I'll hop on, and then we'll
I
play
just
together.
beat like I've been beating mini bosses and everything. Crazy. It's been awesome.
All right,
But
guys. Well,
yeah.
you heard it here. If you're wanting to play some, go ahead and get Path of Exile 2, and we're about to go play. Y'all
Yeah,
have a
man.
great night. Thank y'all for all showing up. Thank you for those who gifted, for those who hit the like button, those who shared it out. Thank you for everything. Y'all have a great night, and as always,